Let's welcome everybody in to the Real Kyper and Bourne Show Christmas edition. Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, Sportsnet 590, Sportsnet 360, and Sportsnet Plus from 4 to 6 Eastern. We are glad you're along for the sleigh ride.
Oh, nice. It's our last show before we take off for the holidays.
And it's a different show because Sammy's giving me no lineup.
Nope.
I really have no idea who's coming on the show because Sammy, for the next 2 hours,
Yes.
has built in guests throughout our show that will go off like a tea time every 7 minutes.
No, more like 15, 10, 15.
Okay, all right.
It's like at Rosedale where there's not as much. There's little more time in between. There is an old Tam O'Shanter.
Just a vague tea time. Show up, we'll get you out.
We've got some Christmas hats on, but you guys went one step further with a Christmas T-shirt. You're wearing Scarborough green.
Yeah.
Reppin' Scarborough Golf and Country Club.
Yeah, I went.
I couldn't lower myself to a Christmas sweater.
You couldn't, eh? But the
No.
hat's fine.
No.
I don't know what's going on our screen there. It looks like we got a star wipe going on.
It's like a 1980s music
My
video.
golf course closed today, finally.
Rosedale just closed?
Just closed today.
Damn.
Yes.
And
That's a good run. A historic run.
Yeah. That's the world's on fire. It was,
From
like,
like-
it was like 13 degrees last week or something.
Second week of April to December 21st. That's
really
a
impressive.
really good Canadian run for golf.
It's unbelievable. I saw some sort of like long-term winter forecast here, and it's like, yeah, it's supposed to be cold early January, then a big thaw late in January. And it's like, isn't that, then aren't we like almost at spring?
Our
Days
first
are getting
guest.
longer starting today.
Yeah.
Our first guest is ready and waiting.
No way.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, wow.
God, I
It's
look like a skid with this hat. This is a terrible Christmas. This is an awful Santa hat.
good hats. The third
Hey,
one.
I got to be honest with you. When I saw
Is it
that hat,
dogs?
I'm like,
Sammy's
I
good.
ain't wearing that one. We're going to give that one to Sammy.
He's nice. Plush.
Oh my
It
God.
looks-
Oh, you're an idiot.
It looks like there's like a cat on your head.
It's like
Well,
Christmas Vacation. The electrocuted cat is still
I was told, I also wear my Grinch shirt because it's my only Christmas themed shirt. And I've also been told that I have the body of the Grinch. So,
there. Skinny fat guy.
yeah, skinny fat guy. Yeah. Anyways, would we like to welcome in our first guest?
Would love to.
Yeah.
Don't know how.
It's you, bud. It's you. Wow. Gord Stellick. Stellectricity is in the house on our Christmas show.
Now, Merry Christmas. I don't have a hat. Seeing Sam's hat, I'm kind of glad I don't have a hat. But anyway, great to be on your Christmas show.
So what is going on at the Stellick household as we speak? I envision a lot of baking right now.
A lot of baking. Yeah. No,
Are you doing the baking?
kids are adults now, 24, 20, so they got their own stuff going on. But we smartly are having people over the 23rd. So that, usually do Christmas Eve, but Saturday the 23rd, a bunch of people over. So a lot of families, so it makes it less complicated. They can do other things on the 24th. And right now, just going to some friends tonight and really enjoying kind of a fun second year in a row after a couple of COVID years, right? That you're able to get out and about and see everybody again.
Christmas Eve. I like it. So how has the holiday season changed for hockey teams since you were a GM of the Leafs? Like now there's a Christmas freeze. There's no transactions. What did it used to look like when you were the GM of the Leafs?
Yeah, Justin, and Kyper would have experienced that you just had the 25th and 26th over and off, So it's like the afternoon of the 24th, you went, the 24th and 25th over. So the 24th, you went to the office. We go out for some beverages. I actually got stopped in a spot check once on the way home. I was a little worried.
Oh,
But
boy.
anyway, always good.
I'm
Only
sorry,
time
was
I've
that
ever
last
had to
night?
actually go out. I was putting all my Christmas presents out of the back seat at 3:00 in the afternoon, just for the Bayview extension going on the Parkway, but all good. And then it was like, we'd have a big ball hockey game. And then the 25th was the one day, everything was just settled for about 48 hours. Then Boxing Day, we always had a game. It was close by or it was at home. You go to Detroit or Buffalo. So I like the extra day off for, I get, gives guys a chance to come home. But I just found like it's a hectic, frantic pace. Every day's the same. There's Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. It's all the same. And then for a couple of days, you get to enjoy stuff with family. And, Justin and Kippy, if you if you win those last couple of games, it's funny. Christmas, like if you win 3 in a row or something, you're in a great mood. I remember coming home once after December 23rd and won games in Chicago, St. Louis, and man, everything's going great. But if you lose a few, you're kind of it's not fun for a couple of days. But I've always liked that we kind of in this hectic world get a couple of days to breathe and enjoy family and friends.
We're talking to Gord Stellick, former general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs. How about the last few days before Christmas? Did you find it as distracting then as perhaps maybe what the Leafs are dealing with going into Buffalo? Buffalo absolutely gets annihilated by Columbus here. And while you think it would be an easy game for the Leafs tonight, Gord, is it a bit of a trap game as well for them?
Yeah, and first of all, the Buffalo game, I remember once, in all honesty, whatever reason, our December 23rd game was in Vancouver, and we took commercial flights home. So I was worried the morning of the 24th, weather is always an issue in Vancouver, and it'd been canceling flights. So we came home, and then someone called and said, can you get Kevin Collins, the linesman? It's sold out flight. So we had an extra ticket. We got him home. So as the travel guy back then, that was the most pressure I faced was, would we get everyone home? And why the hell were we in Vancouver on the 23rd? So geography-wise, it makes a lot better sense that you're in Buffalo. I know there's another game on Saturday as well. But, yeah, funny one, Kyper, that it used to be you go to Buffalo, and what would the crowd be? Would you say like 60-40 Buffalo fans, like 40% very vocal Toronto fans? I think tonight it'll be 75% Toronto fans because the Buffalo fans ain't coming. I mean, they're tired. This is the third freaking rebuild they've had. So it's going to be like a real, like it could be an ugly night in Buffalo if Toronto gets going. But to your point, it does seem all of a sudden, about letting sleeping dogs lie or something, and that just when you least expect it. And Buffalo, they've always had the Leafs number. Ryan Miller, Dominic Hasek. I mean, they don't have those goaltenders anymore, but that was a big reason why they had the Leafs number for so many years. But yeah, you got to show up and play. Okay, they're a wounded dog, I know, but you got to show up and play. And all of a sudden, this could be the best possible outcome, or it could be an ugly night. But yeah, you got to show up and play.
Have you seen Buffalo's fans grow dispassionate at all? Like, I know it was a great fan base, period. But God, what are we, a decade into this? And I think attendance isn't great right now. Do you see this really wearing on that group?
Yeah, there was when the Buffalo Sabres joined the NHL, about a third of the fans were from Southern Ontario, but they've always had a strong fan base. And actually, it's funny. I was reminiscing with Bruce Boudreau on our NHL Network radio show about. I remember March 1981, we lost 14-4 in Buffalo.
Oh,
14-4. Bunny the Rocket just
couldn't get the bounces.
Yeah, tough night.
Yeah, couldn't. It was only 1-0 in the third period. We held them close in the third period. Then they got 9 goals in the second. But Bunny the Rock had come over 9 days earlier at the trade deadline. And I remember the next day I'm listening to Buffalo radio, and they played back all 14 calls by Rick Jeanneret.
Oh,
I was kind of smiling in a pathetic way because they were loving it there. But I do there was a buzz. These are really passionate fans. These are when the NHL Stanley Cup Finals on. Generally, American ratings are the two cities involved if they're American, and then Buffalo and Philadelphia area as far as being hockey fans. So. And they've been really put through screwed as far as the hockey team goes. That you can do a rebuild. We did it in Toronto, and they're doing it in Chicago. They did it in LA and New York, but then a second rebuild and maybe now a third. So no, they're saying show me, and they're pretty loyal, and they've been tested beyond however they've been tested before. Think of how long Lindy Ruff and Darcy Regier were there as the general manager and coach, and they were under the salary cap, and they put out a great product there. And it's I never like to see things get ugly. Okay, I don't. In all honesty, so I really don't want to see that tonight or any other place. And you know what else nowadays, guys? I don't remember, Kippy, that they ever would say fire Kippy, fire Justin, fire Stellick. Like that just seems to be the newest thing. That
check our mentions, pal.
It's just ugly.
You know why? You know why they do it, Gord? Is because the fans are now educated enough over the last 15 years plus that they know if we chanted trade this guy, you're not going to do it because there are no trades anymore. You're locked into bad contracts. So this is the easiest way we can hold you guys and some accountability. So they go after the coach.
So if you have a bad show, are there chants of fire Sammy? Does that resonate in the studio?
We chant it.
You would
in
be
here.
very, just read the comments.
Gordo,
Look at my hat. I'd fire me.
Sammy,
He has a national TV looking like this.
Sammy in 18 months has gone untouchable now.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, right. All right, we got to let him go because we got to get our next guest soon.
All right.
So,
Yeah.
I'll go. We're gonna ask him something else.
Sammy, what you're wearing today makes you untouchable. That's what I can say. There you go. Last minute Christmas gift. Chris Cuthbert said he's hoping he gets it under his tree. So if his son Justin's living, I know he's living. If he's listening,
I'm alive.
and hopefully living, buy the book for your dad.
Not too late at all to stuff that into a stocking.
It's really
there.
good.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Gordo, thanks, buddy.
Hey, love the show. Appreciate being a part of it. Merry Christmas, you guys and your family. And all the viewers out there.
Merry Christmas, Gordo.
Thanks, Gordo.
Pal.
So, yeah, that's great. The book thing was nice for Gordo there, and we're just waiting on our next guest. I just wanted to bring this up since we have a couple seconds here. You really lit the internet on fire with your Dubas piece today, Kippy.
You did it again.
Holy, people are commenting on that one, bud.
Yeah, listen,
I haven't checked. How are the comments? Are they good?
It's an excellent article.
It's very good.
It just I just basically said that Kyle Dubas lost an opportunity to kind of bridge or mend a little bit and move on. I wasn't a big fan of him just on the radio silence. And yeah, maybe to his point, it's like I don't want to pour gasoline on any fire, but I think you could have come out and had a canned statement on how much you're willing to talk about what happened, but just move on off of it. I think it would have been enough.
A lot of these things, like a lot of relationships, when there's trouble or misunderstandings, or the best thing you can do is just as quickly as possible talk about it. Sort through things. It doesn't make it a big deal. The more you let it fester, it just gets worse.
Don't go to bed angry, Justin.
And I agree. Yeah, you give up on that eventually. But the idea of your piece, I did like that. That he didn't do himself any favors. I do wonder if he felt, and this is just me thinking on the spot here, if there was nothing he could have said that he would have won.
See, I disagree. I think there could have been.
Yeah.
And I think, again, for me, it would have been more of if you really want to show a little humility and say, listen, I'm human. If I could go back, I would have maybe made a few different decisions. But I can't. But there's growth in it. There's a learning process. And yes, at times I can get a little emotional. Whatever the case is, there's ways of not getting into gory details or he said, she said scenarios to show growth moving on. And I think they come back in April.
Yeah.
Does he speak to the media then? Does he not? The other thing too is if I'm the Fenway Group and you are going into the biggest hockey market in the world and you are representing us, deal with whatever you have to do, but you're also missing an opportunity to promote our club, to tell people about the Pittsburgh Penguins. You are our face. You're missing an opportunity to represent us here. So how long do you go without doing that in Toronto? I like my president of hockey ops to want to talk into the biggest hockey market in the world at some point.
Part of it is probably on his behalf and FU. Just to the media that maybe he feels misrepresented him or, didn't, whatever it is, to say, I'm not feeding your machine. See you later.
It's small-minded, JB.
Yeah.
And I'm not disagreeing with the way he can feel.
Yeah.
But that's not the solution.
Not the way a president should handle something.
It's not an adult decision. It's an immature temper tantrum kind of position.
I agree.
And it's
there.
no good.
Yeah.
We're all adults in the room here.
The only thing I would argue with your piece, go ahead. Oh, we got a guy.
We have a guest.
All right.
Yeah. Our next guest.
Oh,
yeah,
PJ Stock. Ladies and gentlemen, PJ Stock.
Look at this sweater. I don't even want to know what else it says.
That is a fantastic sweater.
Thank you. I actually, it's hard to find an adult sweater that doesn't have just Merry Christmas on it or Happy Holidays. So
The bottom says package. Is that right? Because
I have a Christmas package for you. Yeah. Yeah. It's for Kyper. It's for Kyper.
That's nice.
So,
Yeah.
what is going on at the stockyard right now?
Well, we have, this is my favorite time of year. I actually, I should have had this upstairs. I believe it or not, leave a Christmas tree up all year round.
Pardon? That's just a tree.
No, it's it's decorated as it's a Christmas tree. I have one at the cottage as well. The ornament on top we change and put people's faces on it and different, but I just Christmas is, I know the world we live in right now is what terms you can use, but Christmas for me is about happiness. My best memories growing up as a kid, and family and friends has always been around this holiday, and I love the idea of gifts and everyone getting together and celebrating and drinking and eating too much and everything, and just everyone so happy. And I leave my Christmas lights up because when I'm happy. So at night, there's not a better lighting in your house than when the lights are off besides your Christmas tree or your Christmas lights.
And it also
So
helps you. It also helps you get home when you've had one too many.
Yeah. So luckily, I do it in my home, so I don't have to go.
Yeah, you know where you're going. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's right.
So so all the best to everyone there at the station, you guys, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Hanukkah, everything. So.
Yeah, you too, PJ. We really appreciate that. It's
Thank you.
We had same sort of feeling and vibes on the holiday season. Give us your experience as a player. Were you able to still feel that festiveness with your NHL clubs? Did you do Christmas parties? What was the experience like in the NHL?
Well, we did. It was funny, Kyper? We almost always had to be back on the 26th in the morning, super early in the morning. So my family, we would celebrate it the night before. So we do instead of doing a Christmas dinner with our family on the 25th, we do it on the 24th. Wake up in the morning, do quick gifts and go. And it's funny as you get older, and now that we have kids and Santa and everything, and the process of you can't really change the date or move anything when my kids are younger,
Right.
because right. So
Right.
So it was, I go back to those phases and how we had to get around it. But again, we always had like 2 days off. I was lucky. I was always in the Northeast. The teams that I played on, Montreal, Boston, Philly, New York. Worst case scenario was like a 9-hour drive, but I prioritized my family. Came home, saw my parents, my brother, my sister, cousins, and we'd always do fun stuff with the team, which is fun. It's just I love the comfort of being with my family. It was fun, but I'll tell you one thing, it was hard to play hockey around that time, which is, you'll love to think that everyone's heads are always into it and you want it to be into it. But sometimes you're 2 games away from Christmas and you're so excited for that time that you're it's awful to say that you're looking past it, but your excitement about those 2 days, 2 days at home, maybe 3-4 days before you get there, sometime take over some of your brain space. But it's just a great time around the year in the league, everywhere, sports, great time to get home. Now there used to be New Year's was the big day to watch college football growing up, right? We had the big bowl games. So that was the other big celebration, but now you got stuff on Christmas, you got it all between. It's a great time of year.
As two guys that dabbled in the American Hockey League, Peach, it was always when you were really young that you wanted to be with the big club for no other reason to get the NHL gift instead of the American Hockey League mug.
Significant swing there.
Do you remember some good ones?
Oh my God.
With the Leafs, we got plane tickets anywhere you wanted to go.
Really?
We got a lot of
airline tickets.
Anywhere you wanted to go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I got a bunch of travel stuff, like,
Yeah. Luggage and backpacks.
Luggage and backpacks.
Like that was a big deal back then when you're making only like 90 grand or 100 grand a year.
Yeah.
I still have my stuff.
Yeah, in
Kyper,
1980, that was okay.
we should have took the we should have taken the, they're giving you tickets to fly away and me luggage.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have taken it up signs of my career.
Hey, there's a few players on our team that I'm sure they wanted those one-way tickets.
One way. Stay in Fiji. We don't need you.
It was a great time.
Did you guys ever do Secret Santa as a team?
I don't think we ever did.
No, you kids?
A couple times we've done it. Yeah.
We used to do it in college. It's a disaster.
It is, eh? Like just
it always gets personal with someone, and it's
Yeah, I can't remember anything too.
we too much time in
Off the
college. You guys
charts.
are actually playing games in the NHL.
the difference also is the American Hockey League too. Like we play, you have to play 3 games in a row, then you have like 4 or 5 days off, then
Yeah.
3 games in a row, and so we'd have some bigger parties in the American Hockey League where they just be crazy. In the NHL, it's more professional. It's I don't know, it's proper maybe.
Yeah.
It's hard to get Gretz to be chugging beers out of bongs and the beer bongs. Guys are holding the beer bong up.
I don't know. Those 80s Oilers had some stories, it sounds like. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
How's,
I guess that's right.
How you're in Montreal? How's the mood with the Canadian fans
what's crazy?
This holiday season?
I always do. I always work too hard for when I'm about to come on this show. But I was going through Instagram today, and I didn't really have time to go through to proofread it because don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. But Michael Chateaubriand, after 150 games, had 192 points, which is the all-time best. They have Marty St. Louis after 150 games, only has 132 points, and it's the all-time worst, which is a crazy stat.
Yeah.
Because the mood around the team is way better than it's been in a long time, despite them being so in struggle mode, let's just say, in this rebuilding mode. I think other times the expectations were always there. And now, like I've been telling you guys, I don't have them there. Some of the fans do, and they get really excited about it. I always have to remind them that they were 32nd in the league 2 years ago, and that's why they got the first overall pick. And we talked about Slafkovsky. It wasn't a McDavid or a Bedard or a Crosby. It's going to take some time. So my expectations aren't there, but the city gets a little excited time after time. And this is a great example of the worst start in like team history. And it's kind of, hey, it's Canadians. They played good last night. It's fun. It's, so, there's actually an article out today that Marty says the team's finally hitting their stride and he feels good about them. It is what it is. Right?
Are fans in Montreal, before we let you go, are fans in Montreal scared to raise their bar after watching Ottawa and Buffalo go into this season with aspirations of maybe making the playoffs or winning a round or two?
Well, no, the problem is I was doing TV the other night and they're talking about, hey, we're 2 points out of the playoffs. And I'm like, that's not the way to be thinking. You don't get 10 points out of the playoffs. It's great for the players to be in these games where they have meaning and how you have to try but at the end of the day, if you're going to lose the right way, but lose, if they add another top 10 pick to this team, as the drafts this year is supposed to be a little bit deeper, it's just adding foundations and talents to this team that is, let's be honest, they're in need of some years and some help and some depth, and they don't have much in the American Hockey League. They don't have much on their team. It's a transitional phase that they're in, and it's good. It's good. It's a good vibe right now, and it's the city's behind them. But it is amazing if this stat is true that it's off to the worst start. Marty is amazing at the way he's been able to convince everybody.
Yeah, well, that's
going in the right
important,
direction.
right? Do we have time, or we got to go?
We gotta get going here. Sorry.
Okay.
I gotta go. I got eggnog.
Gotta kick him out of the party.
I got eggnog. I didn't have the eggnog. I'm just kidding. Guys, all the best to everyone there. Happy holidays. All the best. And to our listeners, don't be shy to tweet them over the holidays.
PJ Stock.
You too, pal. Merry Christmas.
That was really good.
So two for
He's
two.
dressed. He was dressed.
Okay with the Christmas guest
Yeah.
so far?
Oh my
Okay.
God, it's
Doing
as good as it
terrific
gets
so
over
far.
our show.
So I just wanted to ask you guys a couple quick Leaf thing just to sneak it in because we got our next guest after the break. But did you see what Keefe had to say about Samsonov starting tonight?
I did. I don't know if
I don't have the clip. I'll just read it to you.
Yeah, please.
He has to play. We have to get him going here. That's really it.
When asked about him playing, your coach goes, I mean, he's got to play. That's all there is to it. We need to figure this out. Huh?
Yeah,
Ugh.
he's not very patient right now with Samsonov.
And he also didn't even bother going through the motions of like, we think there's a lot there, and he's ready to. He was just like,
No.
was like-
He tried that maybe about a month ago.
Yeah.
So at least I think Sheldon's smart enough that he can say to himself, I've played that card already.
You know what this is? To me, this is you're handing the guy the rope. And you're saying, I'm not going to hang this guy.
Yeah.
But if he wants to do it with his own play, you can take the opportunity and run with it. But if you need the rope, here you go.
I don't think he's. I don't know what you do. So if he goes out tonight and he's terrible, then what?
Man,
So
we got to get that hat off your head. I don't know.
My hair probably look like a hair looks like now. Look like an idiot without it.
in my article, I do in my article that you can find on my X account, my Twitter account at Real Kyper, is also in news and notes, and I was talking about Matt Murray.
I saw that. I saw that.
Oh, my God.
That.
He's our next
What?
guest.
I'm going through Kip's article today. I get to this. And the first line of whatever is like, I'm
Oh
not
my-
sure Matt Murray's done this year. I
I
was
think
like,
you should be writing. That should be. You buried the lead.
that's
so
a whole
far.
article. That's not a footnote.
Boys, he's feeling good, and
Oh
he's
my
young,
God.
and he wants to keep playing.
If he wants to play this year, they're hooped.
No.
They're so screwed.
They-
Time out.
How could they
I didn't
financially? They'll never financially recover from
I
this.
didn't get. I didn't get that. I didn't get that far into the news and notes on. He'll get through trade deadline. He'll
Okay.
get to the side where the cap doesn't matter.
But doesn't it matter until the playoffs?
It does matter to the playoffs, right?
Well, I think to field the team. I mean,
I don't think he'd see a game in the regular season, but I think he'd be in a position where he could start playing for the Marlies. He can take a 2-week stint down there, and he could be available as a third, fourth goalie.
I can see him hoisting the cup with the Oilers now. Like when they claim him on waivers in
Oh,
April.
my
I
God.
thought you'd like that.
That one
I
jumped
know
out.
it said they liked it.
No,
they
I
said
don't
we
like
read
it at all. I don't like it at all. I read it, and I was stunned by it. Anyways, we should take a break.
All right. More of Sammy's surprise Christmas
Surprise Santa.
list on the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. Don't go away. Welcome back into the Real Kyper and Bourne Christmas edition. Before we take off for the next little while, back in the new year. Is that true?
Oopsies. Well, it is for our show, but you and I are going to do.
We have one
couple
Leaf
of-
game.
One hockey. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, it's been it's like, Sammy, you shot us out of a cannon with two amazing guests to start our
Gordon, PJ.
party.
I'm just working on one of our other guests right now. So,
Yeah.
but the Matt Murray thing kind of just caught me off guard. And this hat, Jesus.
No, you're
I haven't thought of. Shut up.
I'm trying- Sorry.
Take me seriously, okay?
Grinch body. You got the toque on, whatever. Anyway, sorry.
he's not 35 and he doesn't want to retire.
Matt Murray.
Matt Murray.
Matt Murray was struggling to stay healthy for most of his career. Getting older doesn't
Yeah.
tend to help that. Not playing doesn't tend to
So
help your goaltending.
I think by the book he had his hip surgery, but I don't know what's out there officially, but he may have had 2 hip surgeries.
Oof.
It's fine.
It's like
It's fine.
like Beverly Hills, man. You just go in there and you say you want to take a little off the chin, and the next thing you're working on your nose
Yeah.
and your high cheekbones
Like-
and your calves.
It's like you're renovating your house. You got to keep a few walls so you can say it's a reno,
Yeah.
not a rebuild. And
So Matt Murray went in there and said, while you're at it, take care of this, this, and this. And by March, he'll start skating again.
okay, so he's on the Leafs books for 4.687. Were he to hockey again this season? His recent statistics, not great. You know,
No, this is about just putting yourself in a position, I think,
that
to
you could play again in the league if someone wants to give you a chance.
and whether or not the Leafs or any other team want to bring him back next year, I'm sure he would do what all the rest of them have done now, and that's play for, I don't know, $1 million, even if it starts as a PTO and gets yourself he's got some good hockey games under his belt. And if he's feeling healthy and pain-free for the first time, there's a very good chance he could resume his career next year.
I mean, he is a 6'4", 29-year-old, 2-time Stanley Cup champion. That is the full resume for him. And if you want to give him a chance, I think I'm within my rights to stay skeptical that he'll be able to do it. But I think it's great. I don't like seeing injury cost anyone's career. So hope that works out.
Tonight, Samsonov will get his chance once again, and you like his chances against a team that's really looking mighty tough right now, the Buffalo Sabres.
So the Sabres last year were third in the NHL in goals for per game. Third. This year they're 25th. So that's been the story of their season. They're the guys who had career breakout years.
Tage got hurt.
Yeah, but he's played 24 games, and in those games he went from 1.2 points per game to 0.6 something. Tuck last year was over a point per game. He's well below. Skinner was a point per game. He's below. Cousins is regressed. They can't score.
I don't predict this often, but I think Leafs win rather big tonight.
I think, they should, but the problem is every time we say that,
I get nervous.
I never say that.
I get nervous against a team that got humiliated the game before, and they will be on their best behavior. Their head coach, Granado's feeling the pressure, and he's not. I don't think he's going to let them get in and be loose off the bat
It'll
here.
be Will Ferrell in the dressing room, though. Everyone needs to calm down from old school. That whole bit.
Yeah.
He's going to be fired up.
And notoriously, it has always been rather tough for the Leafs for whatever reason. And even if the crowd's 50-50 or 60-40, 70-30 their way, it's always a tough. Historically, it's always been tough to go down the QEW and get 2 points.
So it sounds like some of the reason it's so many Leafs fans is not like a lack of desire there so much as there's just a premium to sell those tickets to Leafs fans, right? Like you make your season ticket money back by selling a couple Leafs tickets. And
the other thing, and you're more of a football guy, Sammy, but are the Sabre fans going, hey, I'm going on the Buffalo Bills side right now. I'm really having a lot of fun with this team.
Bills are in a fight to make the playoffs. So, hey, we got our next guest.
It's looking a lot better, though, now with big wins.
Next guest.
Next guest now on our Christmas edition of the Real Kyper and Bourne Show.
Oh, he just dropped.
Oh, is it Kevin Kurz?
Oh, you were on a roll, Sammy, and you got a dropped call.
I actually want to say that's the first one all year, and we had it on our final day.
It wasn't a call, though. I had him on screen.
Had him on screen. It must be someone older who.
Hey, he's back.
Yeah, older. I was thinking Doug McLean old, though.
Do we have him? Oh, boy.
We have the
No,
visual.
I think he's going without the earbuds.
Oh, sorry, guys. Can we hear him?
Yorkie, can you hear us?
I got you guys hear me?
Yeah, you sound great.
Very nice. Very
Merry
nice.
Christmas. Welcome to the Christmas show. How are you?
Oh, I'm good, Board. You guys are looking merry. You got the Santa hats going. I love it.
Yes.
And
Like,
we got the one that Sam's
listen.
dog chewed on his head, and we're all good.
I know props after being in the business for 20 years.
You're
So
still
how's it shaping up for you and your family this holiday season, Yorkie?
Kyper, I got an easy job, man. All I got to do, well, not that easy. I just got to buy a present for my wife. I'm like you. I got older kids now. So they're just coming home. One's home today. One's coming home tomorrow from Western. And then, they're just back to see their friends. So as long as I make sure I get my wife a nice present, I'm all good. Everything else is taken care of for me. So it's an easy Christmas for me.
And what about when you were playing in the NHL? We asked PJ his experience. We had him on before you about being an NHL player at Christmas time. What are some of your memories from that time of year as, that stand out from your time playing in the league?
Exhausted, like just 2 days off.
What a break.
That's what I remember from the league. You play so much. And then, although I will say, Secret Santa in the NHL, I do miss that.
There we go.
That was my favorite time of Christmas, Barney. The Jap gifts for the guys on the team, and always some pretty good ones.
Anything stand out that you can remember that's arable?
They weren't always appropriate, as I recall.
Do you know who I gave the best gift to? And I put it down as anonymous. Back when I played in Ottawa, I found, hopefully he's not listening because we're kind of buddies, but I found a little Sesame Street figurine of the Count, and I wrapped it up special for Jacques Martin. I don't know. He probably knows today it was from me, but I always thought, there's a little bit of resemblance there between Jacques and the Count from Sesame Street. So that was one of my better ones. And Timmy Thomas, back when I played in Boston, Timmy, as goalies, we all know this, goalies have unique body shapes, right? You got skinny ones, you got chubby ones. Timmy was a little bit of the chubbier body shape, and he loved his burgers. I used to call him the Hamburglar. So I, on my way to Secret Santa, because I'd always buy guys a few extra gifts, stopped off at McDonald's on the way to Secret Santa, wrapped up the burger, put it under the tree, especially for Timmy. So he got himself a nice burger for Christmas.
Did he eat it is the question.
Oh, he loved it. He loved it. And Kyper, you know this. You always have the cheap guys on your team, right, too, eh?
Oh, yeah.
So the cheap guy'd always get the wallet with the nail hammered through it. And a pair of jeans with like really long extra pockets for old Johnny Long pockets. So now Christmas Santa, I love it. I miss that. So that's my biggest thing I miss with the holidays in the NHL.
So that's Yorkie, if you were to give that same present to Jacques Martin after blowing a lead and losing to Arizona and going 0-1 in his comeback, what kind of mood would he be in right now if you gave him the same gift?
I think, you know what? I think he's pretty good. Like, he had a chance to come in and kind of evaluate up top before he jumped on the bench here. So he knows there's some work to do with this team, especially on the basics. Listen, guys, they were practicing line changes yesterday in practice, changing on the fly. And I remember doing that when I played for him. So he's taken this school. It's like old Rodney Dangerfield back to school. The guys are going back to school, and they're going to work with the basics. Jacques' a patient guy. He doesn't think this is going to change overnight. So I think, if you're going to give him something for Secret Santa, maybe a little more patience, because that's what it's going to take.
Is the market patient?
Not so much.
Oh, good.
I think, they were crying to get DJ fired for a long time. Like that, this market has gone through a lot. You go back when Eugene Melnyk had Pierre Dorian trading away Mark Stone and Pajot and all the stars they had in Ottawa. And it's just been so long since they've been in the playoffs. So people are impatient, but I think now there's a little more patience. They made the coaching move. They got Alfie on the bench, which the fan base absolutely loves. So yeah, they're not so patient, but they are. I guess it's a two-sided answer. I think they kind of realize where they are right now, fellas. They're not going to be a playoff team.
Well, and is the intent then with Martin to get them into that mix at all, or you think this is just like a concession in mid-December, or?
No, they still have games in hands, and obviously the plan is just look at St. Louis, right? They were in last place going back to when they won their cup. So
go on a run.
Yeah, the plan is to go on a run, but I think first and foremost, the plan is to get this team playing with the magic word more structure. And I think that's plan number one. Get them playing with more structure, get them playing more on the right side of the puck, and then hopefully get back into the playoff race. For sure. They're not giving up on the playoffs, but I think realistically speaking, if you look where they are, it's going to be tough.
Okay, one more before we let you go. Give me a name right now that would suit what this Ottawa roster needs right now for a next head coach. We assume that Jacques just holding the fort here. Craig Berube, is it Gruden, who's with the Marlies right now? Another young mind that does not have NHL experience. Patrick Waugh. What? Give me a name here.
I love John Gruden, boys. I've known Gruden for a long time. We played together in Ottawa. Is he ready to be a head coach? I don't know, but I'm not a big fan of you keep recycling coaches. I just look at what happened to the New York Islanders when John Gruden was the D coach there. I look at the season Boston had last year when John Gruden was the D coach. I'm a big believer in after your goaltender, your defense are your most important players. I think Gruden's is a fantastic D coach. Would he be a great head coach? I think so, because I think defensemen are the smartest guys around.
All right, Yorkie, thanks for doing this, man.
Happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas.
Thanks, Yorkie.
Great guy.
What a great guy. I saw you saying Berube in your little piece today with the sense.
I hear there's a few guys that want Craig Berube.
I know
in Ottawa.
John Gruden seems to have a lot of friends in media in Ottawa.
Well, I mean, it's a great point. As you're the D coach for the Boston Bruins last year.
Yeah,
doing a pretty good job.
Yeah,
No?
the defense is very good, and the head coach is very good too.
Yeah.
Listen,
I'm not saying Gruden, I don't know anything about.
I know there's some issues with putting the puck in the net in Washington, but Carberry coming out of the Leaf bench is looking pretty good right now in Washington.
It's very it's typical for coaches to have their most success in their second stint in the league. If you're a team that's ready to go for it, well, maybe Ottawa's not. I don't know. Close enough. Yeah. He had a Secret Santa thing going on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's hilarious. The count is pretty good.
The count's good. I like the cheap guy stuff.
Yeah.
That's all you gotta get creative sometimes.
Just working on our next guest here. Talk amongst yourself, fellas.
Okay. Let's talk about the coaching thing a little bit more. Yorkie saying, he likes this unproven guy. What do you think Ottawa's expectations are? Because I thought this was supposed to be maybe they're in the Leafs category this year type of year.
We spoke earlier in the show about Buffalo with Gord, and you end up with a fan base that loses interest quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that new ownership group now, led by Michael Andlauer, can afford now the next 30 plus games
just be over.
Yeah. I don't believe that for a second. There's advertising to sell. There's boxes to sell. There's reservations and restaurants to be made here. And if you lose that for a year, then you lose momentum going into next fall.
Well, these games are huge coming up because they have so many games at hand. They're just so far behind the rest of the league, so it looks like they're way, way, way out of it. They need to win their games in hand to show people that they're in the mix.
They need an Edmonton Oilers run.
They need something like that,
8, 9, 10 games in a row.
Yeah, they've lost 5 in a row at this point, but God, there's so many. 6 games.
Don't have much time for next guest.
Okay.
But we got him.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Merry Christmas. This guy.
Now, this guy is the king on the internet with Christmas pictures and right.
He's a festive gentleman.
You are. You love this time of year, do you not, Mike Fuda?
Oh, absolutely. But I don't have a hat. You guys look so festive.
I got to be honest with you. I thought for sure there'd be like a tree in the background and maybe like Rudolph.
Nick, I started off in this venture. I was supposed to shop in Oakville last night, and it's meeting up a friend. I went to the pump house in Oakville, had a couple of beers. I was going to go to the Leaf game in Buffalo, and I just couldn't get up for it. So I stopped at a hotel. I'm at a Fairfield hotel in Oakville, so I'm going to end up watching the game here in Oakville. So it's been a very non-productive talk Sammy out of coming on and just being on the radio, but he said I had to FaceTime, so here we go.
Oh, we love seeing your pretty face.
How's Sammy doing? I mean, last week, he goes, 8 days. I was listening to you guys, and I love listening to you guys, but 8 days ago, you were tracking a flight with Otani.
Oh my God! Here we go.
We got a Columbus loss. Sammy goes to see his boys play in London, and they get pancaked 8-2. And he still finds the way to bring that smile to work. So I hope there's better things with the Leafs tonight, and obviously you enjoyed the 7-0 shellacking, as I think we all did.
Buttes.
But
You know better than anyone. Junior hockey is a little bit of an unpredictable beast. They took out the starting goalie. I think it was a bit of a white flag, and it went that direction. They lost 8-2.
Well,
thanks for bringing it up.
I talked to Hunts because this is the time of year they lost their top guys like Easton Callan. They lost their top guys to the World Juniors, and then they went on a run. So it is, junior hockey's crazy because they were in a bit of a rut, and then all their top guys went away and they started laying the pounds on guys again.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hey, I want to ask Futes about what Christmas in LA was like. You know, you guys are great teams. You're in the NHL. Tell me about Christmas in LA.
Did you
Thanks,
shop for the
Bourne.
players?
I really appreciate it. Ray, I'm already struggling with my New Year's resolutions, and you've got me thinking about what it was like to walk out of my deck onto the beach as Santa Claus went by in his Sudoku. Yeah, it was okay. I enjoyed it. As Kyper knows, there's certain places, if I had ever thought my hockey life was going to end up and I was ever going to make it to the National Hockey League and spend 14 years in Los Angeles on Manhattan Beach, it was pretty special, I'll tell you. So, and the team's playing great. I had a buddy down, I guess they lost to Seattle the other night, but they've done a really good job turning all those assets around, and they're deep. They're really deep. Still not sure whether I would have let go of Gabe Vilardi so soon, but he's having a nice little stay there in Winnipeg so far.
I'm not talking about firing any coach here, but the last few changes and the ability for teams to kind of get going a little bit, and we'll see what Ottawa does tonight as early as game 2 for Jacques Martin against Colorado, I think. A tough one as well.
Oh, yeah.
But does that give now ownerships or president of hockey ops another thing to think about if in fact they want to jolt their lineup? And I look at Buffalo right now. It's like really underachieving here, Feuds. Like, is it easier today than it was even a few years ago to just make a coaching change?
I do think it's a little easier. And I mean, I've got a ton of time for Stevie Staios, and I think he's going to do a great job. I didn't like the timing of this one for DJ so close to the holiday. And in fairness, if I go back to the way this team's built, I still think it's flawed. Like, you see the teams that have made the jump, and obviously Talk's doing an incredible job in Vancouver, but they really need to improve upon their blue line. And when you look at their blue line now, I know Soucy's hurt, but, you know, what's the kid? They brought in a kid to play with, who's the right shot D that's playing with their with Quinn Hughes. Like, he's like, this guy's fit in like a glove, and then Soucy, and then they bring in Zadorov, and they've really worked on their back end. And now you've got them doing that. When I look at what Ottawa added to their back end, and I know Shabbat's hurt, which not, they really, the veteran presence they brought in to stabilize. And I love the Chikrin trade, but is Travis Harmonic, right? I mean, so, and I don't like the fact that people saying, you know, the coach, it wasn't a coaching problem in Edmonton, it was a goaltending problem. And then they start to go on a bit of a roll. Their defense is still a problem, and their goaltending is still a problem. In Ottawa, I think they're getting a bit of a pass on. They spent a lot of money on Korpisalo and in Forsberg, and they have not been consistently good, and especially with a young blue line, the timely goals. So I think the goaltending really let DJ down as well, and I think Pierre didn't do a heck of a lot. You know, Dominic Kubalik, for me, only scores goals on teams that aren't winning.
Yeah.
Like, that was what he did in Czech Republic. I drafted this kid in the 7th round. And, I mean, he got sent back from the Kitchener Rangers. And then he comes back on Chicago when they weren't very good anymore and scores like 40 and almost wins the Rookie of the Year when he was like 28 or something like that.
Yeah.
That's when they want to bury your head. And now they spend all this money on him and Tarasenko. And the money could have been spent on building up your blue line and then having some veteran presence that are true leaders around that group and to, you know, to help guys like Giroux out. And anyways,
can you hear that, Foods? Maid service. It's maid service coming.
Fairfield?
We got to go, pal. We got to go.
Guys, have a great Christmas. Hey, one thing, too, really quick. Great shout out to Elise for her statement early in the week. I know, Bourne, you've been through a lot. And I love your book and stuff, but that was a real heartwarming statement, and lots of love and prayers for her over the holidays here.
Thanks, Feuds. We appreciate you. Merry Christmas, buddy.
Mike Feuda, NHL executive with the LA Kings in their heyday of Stanley Cup champions.
I wanted to ask them what they gave the Kings for presents.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to continue our Christmas edition of the Real Kyper and Bourne Show after these words. All right, our national edition of the Real Kyper and Bourne Show, Christmas edition, continues. We are live on Sportsnet, Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver and Sportsnet 960 in Calgary. This hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, Derek Brandale, and Jen Rolnick, I hope.
Yeah.
There we go.
Happy holidays, one and all.
And Derek, terrific, brought us in. Portuguese tarts.
Portuguese tarts from
Yeah, and I got to be honest with you. My tummy hurts.
Oh, they're so good.
They're so good.
One bite of those, I feel like I put on 4 pounds.
I had one bite too many, I think.
Is it Caldense
know.
Bakery? I don't know what it is. Yeah. My God.
Yeah, they're like, this time of year is just so dangerous.
It's a wonderful time of year.
Yeah, as you chuck little miniature chocolates too,
and like rush them in between segments to make sure I keep my blood sugar level high.
You are a chocolate addict.
I am. Listen, I got issues, pal. I got to replace it with something.
You might have to write a book about that.
A book
in my 50s.
Yes. I needed to go to chocolate rehab.
Yeah. Hey, don't rule it out. It's early. I'm really developing some habits.
All right. So far in our first hour, just a tremendous job with our guests, Sammy. And I don't have any. I don't have any list. I don't have any knowledge of who's coming up. We have no plans. We're just wearing goofy hats. And
Merry Christmas to those we had in our first hour. We had Gord Stellick, PJ Stock, Jason York, and Mike Fuda telling us their Christmas stories. Entertaining guys.
Yeah. What's the best Christmas gift you can remember as a kid growing up?
Wow, that's a large one.
Yes, it is.
You know what is a air hockey table? We woke up and the whole table was built and in the room and wow. Yeah, that was really high end.
I'm in the same boat in terms of I got a table hockey game.
Yeah, like the dome game?
No. That was later when I had money.
Oh, gotcha.
But this one, when I was a kid, was the Phil and Tony Esposito game that was enclosed.
Yeah.
And you moved the men. So Tony's players were the Chicago Blackhawks.
In tracks, though?
No, not in tracks. You had magnets. They were encased.
Under the board.
Under the board were magnets to move Tony's players. And above the board, the magnets would move Phil's players on the Boston Bruins. But for whatever reason, the Tony players always ended up on their sides. So there was no magnet on the top or on the bottom. They were just on the side. And the big joke in our family was, Tony's teams went harder the night before than
it was the party team.
Than Phil's.
Our next guest is here.
All right, our next guest. Oh, no.
The
Wow.
man, the myth, the legend.
Wow, it's not even off the rails Friday. Your place in Florida doesn't resemble Christmas one iota right now. Not even there's not even a green or red ribbon to be found in your condo right now.
Well, I got kicked out of the office den area because we have children and children's boyfriends, and so I got the boot. So I'm in Jill's office.
Okay,
here.
that explains it.
Yeah.
And how is we just talked to Futes about California Christmases when he was with the Kings. How were your
Futes? Who's Futes? I'm not a nickname guy. Who's Futes?
All right, Mac. It's Mike Fuda.
Oh, Mike Fuda.
Fuda. Put the Y in there, even though there's not really.
I'm gonna nickname him the finalist soon.
He's gonna get a job. Don't you worry about that. One day. Hey.
Yeah. I hope he does.
How's Florida Christmas these days?
You know what? It's been a tough one because we've had some wind and the beach has sort of been sort of washed away a little bit. It's not
nothing like wind to ruin a Christmas, eh?
Tough.
Yeah, it takes away. But you know what? I got to tell you, I was listening to you talk about Christmas stories, and you got your great little hats on there, and you really look like jolly old Saint Nick, the two of you. Kippy's putting on a little weight, and we need a white beard on Bourne. But anyway, look, the best part of Christmas for our family, without a doubt, was going to the World Junior Championships to scout. That was whether it was in Skellefteå to watch the Sedins in their draft year, or it was in Vancouver. We stayed up at Whistler and commuted back and forth. So it was Christmas on the road with the kids and Jill, and watching the World Junior Championship, typically in Europe. And in Vancouver was really special. So that was a highlight hockey Christmas, to be quite honest.
So
Now-
let me get this straight.
Yeah.
Okay. You ride them on your budget as a president and general manager, and you get all the wife and kids on a free trip. That's did you have them take charts during the game?
I'll tell you what, they used to get sour at me, especially Jill, when I would send the cookies from business class back to them in coach.
That was like me in my Sportsnet days. I had first class.
Yeah.
Mac was in coach, and I'd roll him a cookie.
Roll it on its side down the aisle.
But certainly there was no wine coming back. I guarantee you that.
Yeah. Mac, I'm fascinated by the idea of Christmas presents for NHL players. So you were part of the decision making, I would imagine, in Columbus, maybe Detroit.
No, the coaches got gifts too, did they? In Washington, you got gifts.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what was the best, guys. It was unbelievable. In Detroit, about a month before Christmas, the Illages would present us with catalogs. Every player, every coach, every person in the management team. And you had a catalog to go through. It might be a 15-page catalog. And you'd go through it, and would you pick out a snowblower? Would you pick out, it was unbelievable what was there. But I'll never forget, I thought, I don't think I want to get Jill a snowblower for Christmas. But the Illages were the best. They were the best with the gifts. It was unbelievable. Jill actually really enjoyed it. She really did.
You didn't want it to be easy on Jill when she pushed the snow, right?
And then it was a leaf blower I got her another Christmas.
Oh, my gosh. Jill's so lucky this time of year.
She sounds like a saint.
Boy, oh
When
boy.
you're in Columbus, though, you're making decisions to what to get your team, right? Like, I imagine that's part of the thing. Like, what do you want to do for the players?
You know what? It was, we didn't do a whole lot for Christmas there, but I'll tell you what our owner did, which was pretty bizarre. He called me in at the end of the year, and he said, I may have told you this story, but he said, we made $22 million this year. And I said, oh, I like the sound of that. So what he did is I went up and met him at his golf course. And this was, we went through every person on our staff. And he gave out $2 million to the people.
What?
So he said, we made a lot of money. So assistant GM got X amount. Director of amateur. I mean, guys were getting $50,000 and $60,000. My secretary, I remember her getting $15,000. Like, it was huge. So that was Mr. McConnell. He said, if we're making a lot of money, it's going back to our staff. And I'll never forget standing in the dressing room, handing out those envelopes. So all the staff come down to the dressing room, and we're all in around there, the hockey ops, the business side, and went through the envelopes to every one of them. It was pretty amazing that he did that. It really was,
You think
I'm floored.
You think that stuff still happens today with a salary cap and HRR?
No.
That can't happen anymore, can it?
Not a chance. I mean, you can do whatever you want with the profit, and that's what he said to me, because his Worthington Industries company had a profit sharing plan with their employees, and he wanted to carry it over with the hockey. Now, we went from 22 million profit my first year in Columbus. The last year we made 100,000. So the gifts weren't quite as good that last year. Everybody got $3.
Changes things a bit.
What would your owner have done if it was like a $22 million loss? Like,
Pony up.
That's happening now, Matt. Teams are losing $20 or $30 million a year in this league right now.
See how we made so much money in Columbus the first year was our payroll was $17 million. $17 million was our payroll in Columbus year 2000. We were playing Detroit 8 times that year with a $77 million payroll. And the Leafs, and I mean, these teams were at a hand. That was in 2000. When you think back and look at those payrolls even then, and then the cap came in, and my first year with the cap was $39 million. So we went from 17 million, and all of a sudden we're up into the 30s, and getting closer to the cap. Now I mean, Columbus went through a stretch. They're losing $25 million a year, a bad stretch in the House, and not that it was Scott Housen's fault, but in the Housen era, I remember hearing they were losing $25 million a year. It was scary. So now all the teams, obviously, with the new TV deals and all these things, like I'll never forget phoning Bill Daly and saying, Bill, I'm doing the performer for my owner. What should I put in for the NBC deal? We just lost ESPN, which was $1.4 million a year, our ESPN TV deal. Can you believe that? And you know what Bill said to me? Don't put anything in, Doug, because we'll be lucky to get a penny from them. Zero we got. That was the introduction of NBC to the NHL, and we ended up getting zero from them. So the performer, I put $500,000 in, just hoping we might get lucky. But was the start of NBC and hockey. Hard to believe after losing ESPN and $1.4 million, and we're getting $1.4 million from Hockey Night in Canada, and we're getting $3 million from Fox Ohio. That was our total TV deal. Today, what would they be getting? 50, 75 million a team? I don't know what it is today, but it's a lot, obviously a lot healthier.
It
that
is.
Was tough.
It is, but there's still, we have some organizations that most likely will hit some significant losses without making the playoffs. The Leafs are in Buffalo tonight. The Buffalo, Ottawa were two teams that were really hoping that they could keep themselves really close, if not in a playoff spot come March, and it doesn't appear like that's going to happen.
How lucky am I? I mean, I interviewed for a couple of weeks for that senior advisor job in Buffalo. You remember you and I going through it at the time, and obviously you were giving me tips. It really helped.
Yeah, it really helped.
I told you the story about Kevin Adams. I did an interview with Kevin Adams, and I remember they said, how do you get along with Kevin Adams, the guy with the Pagulas? And I said, well, the last time I talked to Kevin was the day I traded him for Ray Whitney. So we haven't really had a lot of communication. Kevin made a decision to go a different direction, but I was watching the other night, and in that game, in the Columbus game, in the 9-4 thrashing, I thought, you know what? I'm kind of happy I'm going to the beach tomorrow and playing golf before I go. By the way, 82 the other day, Nick.
82. You know what? It's a perfect temperature, Mac. Perfect. I love 82.
It was 82. It was a double 82.
How do you feel about how the NHL ignores or takes care of the players around the holidays? There's a trade freeze. There's days off. The NFL plays 3 games on Christmas Day. Do you feel like it's a bit much that the NHL is so cautious around the holidays?
You know what? I kind of like that the NFL does that because we've got something to watch and do on, over the holiday. I don't mind it. I know as a GM, and a coach, I really enjoyed it. As Rimmer said to me yesterday, he's flying down. He's only getting a day and a half for Christmas because some teams have to be back to catch a flight. I said, Rims, if you spent $300, you could fly yourself, and you could get an extra day with your family. But Rimmer, he outspent an extra $300. So
Rimmer takes a weekly beating.
I kind of like the break, to be quite honest. And I know Berkey, that was Berkey's claim to fame. I don't know if I got that in the book or not, that he started that Christmas roster. I probably should have, because I did have his trade. Who was the kid or the draft choice he made from Miami of Ohio? Biggs. I did have that in the book. But anyway, by the way, 12th straight week on the bestseller just announced yesterday, guys. I hate to bring it up again.
No, listen.
Anyway, I like the break. I really do.
Good. Listen, we're gonna let you go. We got to cut you off here, but you got to still shop for Jill. So I don't know Hey, are you gonna decide between like a wheelbarrow and maybe hedge clippers or something like that?
Ratchet set,
right? Yeah.
I'd like to get her some pickleball stuff so that I don't have to go down there. She can just use the equipment,
Whatever it is, it's going to be awesome.
Hey, listen. Hey, guys.
Yes.
You don't know how much I appreciate the opportunity to get on this show. And I just want to wish you a very Merry Christmas. And the big guy that comes on, I see him on the set there once in a while. What's his name? Ryan, is it? Or Matt? Or Max?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Sam.
Oh,
Hey,
Sam.
yeah, it's me.
Oh, Sam.
Sam.
Nothing gets by you.
I really want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas
Thank
and a
you.
Happy New Year.
You're the
Thank
man,
you.
man.
And
You
like,
too, man.
And really, once again, thanks a lot for having me on. Jill was really excited when I was rushing up from the pickleball to get up here so I could get cleaned up for this.
Tell Jill Merry Christmas.
Yes.
She's the one we really appreciate.
All
Thanks,
right.
bud.
Doug McLean, everybody, former executive, head coach, National Hockey League.
That Columbus
He-
is crazy.
He wouldn't have sold one
Florida.
book without us.
Oh, Florida.
Yeah,
Is it
well,
Florida? Yeah, there, my bad.
yeah.
Hey,
We have sold a lot of those books. Yeah.
we've
We're
sold
here
a
to help.
ton of books for him.
But hey, doesn't sound like he needs our help, man. They're
No.
flying off the shelf.
We're the ones that started the whole thing.
What percentage are we getting?
Well, you guys both have books. To tell people to buy your books.
Buy my book, will you? Down
Yeah.
and back in stores.
I don't
And-
even remember my name.
Undrafted.
Undrafted.
But down and back really is available.
Yeah.
You really should buy. It would be
I'm
very
ruined.
helpful. I'm ruined.
You think he enjoys the spot on our show?
Who?
Yes and
Yeah.
no.
It's like he gets shot out of a can
They love
every,
listening to you when I'm on.
He loves.
every time he comes on.
I feel like we should buy him a sandwich or something someday. But
Our next guest is ready.
Let's
Oh,
go,
keep the hits coming.
Sammy.
hey, look at this,
Whoa.
man. This guy, DA.
David Amber.
Nikki, I have a little Christmas treat for you. I know you get hungry during the shows. Will this tide you over? Will this be
Okay.
enough?
This was just a casual conversation, DA, that we had yesterday. That when we race off our show to go do our regional Leaf game,
Yeah.
there were no snacks. That's all I said. And could I get an energy bar somewhere? And now I'm hearing you've got snacks for me.
It's a Christmas miracle. There's chips.
a
There's all the
Christmas
unhealthy stuff. It's all there. But I think there's a couple energy bars, so you're good to go.
Well, I really appreciate it. Is it you I have to thank for that, or
Absolutely not.
absolutely not?
That's way above my pay grade. You know, I can't have things like that done here. But it's tonight. We got the little snacks. We're ready to go. We got a game. You guys are double dipping. You've covered all the ground already. We're ready.
Good.
We're done.
And where are you leading us? Where's the storyline tonight? Toronto and Buffalo.
Oh my gosh, there's so many stories. I mean, we're going to obviously talk about Austin Matthews, right? Could he actually become the 9th player ever to score 70 goals? I mean, he's on pace to do just that. I don't know. That's certainly a conversation. What about the Buffalo Sabres? They're a mess. You were talking to Jason York about that. I mean, what kind of response are we going to get from the Sabres? I want to know from you guys. They have a 21-year-old goalie in Devin Levi. What are they doing to his confidence, right? Like, I'm wondering, is this the best spot for him to be in? And I know they really want it to work, but if it's not going to work, then should he not be in the AHL, figuring things out there? So there's a lot to dig into, no shortage of storylines. And are you guys going to be dressed festively? Are we going to see the hats on the show tonight, or what's happening?
We're
won't
rushing
be
in
see-
there. And
won't
we're
be seeing
both
my
going to have hat hair, so it's going to be.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough call.
Hillary's got her work cut out when we get there, so put her on notice. DA, we wanted to. We've been having a lot of Christmas discussions with our earlier guests. Your career in media has taken you to a variety of different places around the holidays. Have you always managed to get time off? It is a big deal in the Amber House.
Well, one thing I'll say is I'm really happy, and I'm sure most people in our industry are who cover hockey, that the NHL doesn't use the NBA or the NFL even this year blueprint. Like the whole 24, 25, 26 off every year, that's a nice thing to just decompress, spend some time with the family. I think that's important. In fact, tonight's my niece is flown in from New York this morning, and I'm picking up my daughter from the airport as soon as our show ends. So she was home from university, so I'm super excited. I think it's kind of nice to have that little decompress, don't have to watch games, don't think about hockey for 72 hours, and then get right back at it.
See, this surprises me, DA, because I know working with you over the years, your big thing is how do we sell this game? How do we promote it? How do we get the stars out on the biggest stage? And, for us here at Sportsnet, we push hard to see the success of the Canadian teams, because when they're successful, we're successful. So, what do you think of that? Do you see it eventually getting to the point where there's just maybe too much money to be made or too much platform to lose this time of year for the players?
Well, one thing I'll say is I think the NHL's conceded Christmas Day to the NBA, and that's sort of become their triple, quadruple header. I think they even had a quintuple header last year, if I'm not mistaken. However, They've done a great job. Back when John Collins was back as the COO or whatever, the Winter Classic, they've sort of taken back New Year Day, which is a big day. That's usually a traditional college football day. And the fact that the Winter Classic has such great traction, it may be less traction here in Canada, but in the U.S., it's like a big event. It's a thing. And you guys have been to those Winter Classics. I've been to a few, and they are a big event. So I think they have a little piece of the holiday season. There's other days that are carved out specifically for the NHL. I think it's okay to concede Christmas Day. I think it's important. The NHLPA, I mean, you're a former player, Nick. The players are all of a sudden going to say, okay, well, the 8 biggest teams are going to see New York, we're going to see Detroit, we're going to see Los Angeles, we're going to see the Leafs every Christmas Day. I don't think the players would be too thrilled about that, quite frankly. So I think it goes bigger. I think sometimes you do the right thing. You might lose a little bit of money here and there, but you're doing the right thing. You're keeping people happy, and there's value in that.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I agree. I think the NHL does the right thing by and large. I know, DA, a lot of time spent with you that we do talk a lot about the Canadian teams, and this has got to be our annual check-in. I think going into the year, you may have had 5 teams in the playoffs, but it's not even there.
I had 7. I had 7 in.
7 in. May have overshot by a little.
I'm in denial. Yeah.
Where are we on our Canadian teams? Is there any of them that you see as real contenders?
Well, I guess we're going to do like a pulse check. Yeah, I mean, Stanley Cup contenders. I mean, listen, Winnipeg, you think Winnipeg's going to be an easy out? I don't. No. Do you believe in the Vancouver Canucks? I do. The way they're playing. There was a really good point made by Elliot today on Jeff Merrick's show earlier.
Really? We don't listen to that show.
That Rick Tocchet has them, even when they're not all firing on all cylinders, he's got them playing sort of a system that is it's structured in a way that even when, let's say Pettersson's not feeling it to score that night, they're structured. They have something, sort of a security blanket to lean on. And I think that's a really good point. I look at Vancouver, and when you have Demko in your net, you're in games, right? So I honestly, I think Vancouver's legit. Obviously, I think Winnipeg's legit. I think the Leafs are legit. I don't think the version we're seeing of the Maple Leafs here on December 21st, first day of winter, by the way, is the same version we're going to see in April, right? We're going to see 2 new defensemen. We're going to see some big, power forward of some sort. It's going to be a different team. Will they be a Stanley Cup contender? Absolutely. And now that you have $4+ million in cap space with the Klingberg situation, and I'm not sure about Ryan Reeves' situation. So, you have some flexibility there. And then the wild card's really Edmonton. Forget about Montreal and Ottawa right now, and Montreal's a great story. But the wild card to me are the Edmonton Oilers. They could miss the playoffs, and they could win the Stanley Cup. And I'm not sure either of those things at this point would be dramatically surprising, which sounds like a crazy thing to say, but you don't know. It's Jekyll and Hyde with that team. You just don't know what team you're going to get. And they obviously they haven't left a lot of wiggle room. But imagine them slipping in as a number 8 seed. It would be reminiscent to the LA Kings slipping in as an 8 seed. St. Louis Blues in 2019 barely making the playoffs. It'd be reminiscent of those teams. No one would want to face the Edmonton Oilers, coming up at the right time with that kind of momentum heading towards the playoffs.
Is it true when you were 7, your best gift ever at Christmas was a set of dumbbells?
What is this guy?
Kipper's on me. Torn tendon. Kyper, torn tendon in the wrist. I can't even do anything anymore.
No.
He's just doing squats,
it's legs
he
day
says.
every day.
Just heavy squats.
Oh, you're getting old.
Max rep heavy squats.
Well, listen, keep the snacks warm for me. Do I want warm
the snacks will be here.
Sit on
the
his
seats
pack
are
of
ready
Welch's
for you
till he
guys.
gets there, will you?
What's that?
Sit on his pack of fruit snacks till he gets there.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Keep them cold.
Bad news, Kyper. You snooze, you lose. These are mine now.
All right.
There's some more snacks here for you. I look forward. I'm going to see you guys. I'll see you guys in shows in an hour. So get ready.
All right. Our host.
Happy holidays.
You too, DA.
Our host
See you guys
with
soon.
the most, David Amber. Tonight, Justin and I will be joining him for Leafs Buffalo Regional tonight.
Yeah, the show literally starts in an hour and 6 minutes.
You guys will actually be talking about hockey
Yeah.
on that show. And then like today, we just talked about Christmas. So far, so good.
And your bad hair.
Amazing.
Oh, my hair's terrible. This hat.
Looks like
You were given no chance.
no chance.
It's all right.
You
You
stacked
know what?
the deck against you.
I can't look like a total hunk every day, boy.
No.
So,
Uncle what?
Oh my God, I love you guys. You guys want to do game time here? I got some game time.
All right, let her
it's
rip.
always fun.
Okay, all right. It's game time.
It's game time.
It's game time. Presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. Now, This one, we talked about this on, was it Monday that I talked about this or Tuesday? I can't remember what day it was.
The losing streak.
Yes.
The Pistons.
Tonight, the Detroit Pistons have another chance to break their losing streak. They have now lost 24 in a row. They're 2 away from the single season record.
Ugh.
The Utah Jazz are on the second half of a back-to-back, and they're missing 4 of their good players. The Detroit Pistons are a minus 130 favorite in a basketball game, having lost 24 straight basketball games.
How is that possible?
I just can't do it. So I am not picking the Detroit Pistons. I am fading the Pistons tonight. I'm picking the Utah Jazz.
Even
as
though
a
the
plus
Jazz are
110.
dressing me,
Don't care.
Kip, you,
Don't care. I don't care.
Ailish, and Cuthbert.
I'm going with the Utah Jazz tonight, baby. Plus 110.
Did we have this conversation already that is the worst ever in
Not ever.
Not ever.
25 or 6 games is the
20?
record in
Yeah,
the
26 is the NBA. 26 is the single season. But then
compared to like hockey.
hockey's 18. Hockey's 18.
Yeah, and we know the NFL only
NFL.
plays like
Yeah, but
16
like,
games.
and how do you even like what would count in the NHL without a win? I guess.
Yeah,
like even-
winless.
winless.
And the NFL, the Detroit Lions went winless one year, so they lost 16 straight. And baseball, I actually don't know what the record is in baseball. I can look that up.
It's got to be big. 162 games, some real duster teams.
I'm just looking that up quickly.
But
What's your prediction?
I bet you a team has lost 34 games in a row in baseball.
Longest. I don't think you're right. That seems like a really long.
Pistons ended tonight.
Well, I mean, Utah's dressing nobody. They're
Nobody.
4 best
Nobody.
The
players.
1961 Philadelphia Phillies lost 23 games in a row.
Wow, basketball's longer.
Yeah.
God,
Well,
this
you-
Piston team.
You just think about in sports in general, the NBA,
the disparity's huge.
you can get hot. One game or if you're playing against a lot of good players, it's really tough. I think it's really hard to lose 20 plus in any straight sport just with a lot of professionals, but I think basketball's the hardest because
The best guys touch the ball
the
every
whole
possession.
time. So, yeah. So you think it's ending tonight, Kyper?
I do, yeah.
Okay. Well,
There.
we disagree on that one.
Is there like a Wembanyama type guy to get drafted? Are they doing
it's
this on
like
purpose?
apparently it's like historically not a great draft. They have the highest paid coach in the league, the Detroit Pistons.
Is it Nurse?
No, it's not Nurse.
Where did
It's-
Nurse go?
He went to the Sixers.
Sixers.
And they're
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
Might have been a mistake.
Whoops.
And the last one I'll give to you quickly. I don't usually do a Leafs pick, but tonight I am extremely confident in the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I hate that.
So give me the Leafs minus a goal and a half plus 150. I think they're going to smoke the Buffalo Sabres.
What a destiny
Is-
that was.
I just do. I never talk about
what do
this.
the bettors say on who wins that game?
Oh, the Leafs are huge faves.
They are huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're, well, not huge, but minus 150.
On the road, that's
on the
a
road.
pretty
That's
big
that's
favorite.
a big favorite. Yeah.
Okay.
You're not convinced either.
I'm not. I just the Leafs.
I'm not
Picking
convinced.
the Leafs is
I'm not
jinxy. Not
convinced.
that I don't think they're going to win. I do think they're going to win.
And Buffalo has some good players. They're not.
A lot of good players. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't
They
know.
can't defend. They give up the most high danger chances in the league. Their goalie's 21. Doesn't add up.
And do you think the Oilers get off the schneid tonight? Going in New Jersey.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I think
I
it's kind
don't
of.
think they
Yeah.
win tonight.
That's why it's hard. That's why you can't lose 5 of your lose
Lose 8
18 years.
straight.
All right, we'll pick that up. We're gonna
Okay.
take
Let's
a
save
quick
room for
break
guests.
here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let me just close it off here. That was Game Time presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly.
All right, we'll talk a little bit more Oilers after the break, and also Ottawa going into Colorado
Yeah, that's tough too.
after a very tough loss to Arizona. That more as we continue on our Christmas edition of the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. All right, Sammy's got me ready for the closing of the.
Sorry.
Yeah, see, you moved me too early. No, now I'm going.
No, she just moved it for you. She just moved for you. You're perfect. Kipper, what are you doing, buddy? You're good. Now you're.
I'm just okay.
I couldn't watch anyone.
So Sammy's no lineup, no nothing.
No.
I'm coming in here cold turkey here, and you're telling me our next our guest is going to come in studio.
Our last guest. Yes.
Last guest.
Yes.
But you've moved everything,
Yeah.
and we still have another guest coming in on Zoom.
Yes. Well, I'm not going to get up and do it while we're on air. I have to do it while.
Why?
Our next guest is ready.
You're still a producer, Sammy.
I know. That's what I do.
All right, let's go to our next guest
You
on
really
Zoom.
put him in the lower tier hat there.
Oh yeah.
Ah, Jason Brukala.
Look at the Kipper and Borny hats.
Love.
Oh my
guy.
God.
Oh my God,
So,
this is
a round of applause for the effort. right? On Zoom, Jason Bukala, very festive for us. From the vest
What's up, brother?
to stockings in the background. I am so impressed.
Only the best for you guys. Let me tell you, this is it's been great being on so far. It's great new slot here, and I took some extra time.
Wow, and no real break for you. World Juniors, right? That's the focus.
World Juniors, it is. That's right. Just tomorrow on the .ca, I'm gonna drop an article on the prospects over there that have been drafted by Canadian clubs and how they've been trending. Ryan Dixon dropped one today, with all the different players that are going to be in the tournament. But I kind of did a deep dive for you guys, a little bit more what to look for from all the Canadian franchises. And there's some great players, fellas, great players.
Okay, we know this tournament has turned into a huge Christmas bonanza for Canadians from coast to coast. But it's always on the backs of the kids doing really well in Canada, right? They're winning the thing, or at least they're in a final here. So, is this the year maybe that they don't do as well because of the push with the U.S. right now?
Yeah, I'm going to temper expectations a little bit for our viewing audience and our listeners. They're in tough this year. The U.S. has been really building towards this tournament. A couple of years ago, they had that juggernaut U18 team that had a whole slew of guys drafted in the first round. They backed it up with some really high-end guys again last year. So they are loaded. Honestly, they can roll 13 forwards out, and most of those guys will be able to play on first lines on any roster in the tournament. That's how deep they are. Even on defense, Lane Hudson, he's a whirling dervish. The Montreal Canadiens draft. He's got a little bit of Quinn Hughes in him. He's undersized. He's at Boston University, but equal parts distributor shooter. The Canadian team, we're going to have to get excellent goaltending. That goes without saying at this event, year in and year out. But relentless compete. Like, we're going to have to look like the New Jersey Devils circa 1994 when we wear our opponent down.
Books, I got a way more important thing to ask you about. I heard you went out for beers with Sammy and his boys.
Boy.
I gotta know what are his boys like? Tell me about having beers in London with Sam McKee and crew.
They're idiots.
Well, first of all, I had to talk him down because the poor old Sound Attack got it handed to him. So he was despondent. Yes, I don't mind giving a little shout out, Sammy, to our friends at Beer Lab, right?
Oh, yeah.
In London.
We had a blast.
And there are some other producers, at the network. I can't mention names right now, but they have frequented the Beer Lab as well. So it was great to see.
We had a really good time. And it's remarkable what he put up with for like an hour and a half.
Just giving it to him like a personal interview.
In the league for however long, and they're just like, you're an idiot. What are you talking about?
Folks,
Like I was a pincushion. They were coming at me. They were relentless, those guys. It was unbelievable. I had to bail. Felt my age.
Just Homer Simpson into the bush out back.
Is it true our boy Sammy was playing Big Shot?
What are you talking about?
You're a celebrity now.
No.
He's recognizable, I'll tell you that. And that big grin that he walks around with all the time. Everybody knows who Sammy is now, for sure.
Well, we're going to set him back with the hat that he's been wearing for about an hour and a half.
Kip found a hat in the gutter on the way here and threw it on Sammy.
Yeah, I just took him off the hallways.
Oh, one of the decorations in there?
Yeah. Off the railings.
Really? Oh my God. Anyways.
I'm going to get in trouble again, aren't I?
Yeah, you're fine. All right. So holiday season for a scout. What's it been like over your time? You guys obviously prepare for this tournament that's right after Christmas. Have you ever been with your family at the Christmas time?
No. Well, I mean, I've always left. The earliest I've left is Boxing Day. I don't go over on Christmas or anything like that. But even this trip, guys, it's a 12-day extravaganza. I leave here on the 27th. I'm not back till the 7th, just with how it is over there, coming back and connections and blah blah blah. So, but they're used to it. I'm lucky. My entire family, obviously the kids, are born into it. But patient wife at home. Happy wife, happy life, and all she's known is hockey her whole life. So I don't know. She doesn't seem to miss me too much when I'm gone, like 12 or 14 days in the holidays. So Whatever. What are you going to do?
Get her a snowblower like Doug McLean.
Yeah.
Does Dougie just sit out in the RV and watch her snowblow?
Yeah, 100% he does. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of which, we were talking coaches and players at Christmas. What about scouts? Do they get it forgotten a little bit this time of year?
Get gifts?
Well, I have to say that I've been very lucky. Dave Apoyle back in the day was over the top. We used to get fantastic gifts, and then of course Dale Talon, who's a golfer, as everybody in the industry knows. He went over the top with some Titleist stuff over the years and some OGO golf stuff. So really nice that they recognize the guys. When we come back for meetings after. Usually meetings start happening in January, right? So it's a belated gift, but the guys are always happy to get something, and it's nice. It's nice to be thought of once in a while, because a lot of miles, a lot of nights away from home.
Well, listen, you have a fantastic tournament. We'll check in with you periodically. Love to have you back. Give us an update, but we really appreciate your time, Books.
Yeah, I'd love to be back on with you over there, boys. Hey, listen, continued success. All the best to you guys over the holidays.
You
All
too,
right.
man. Really appreciate you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Now, when he says continued success, does that mean that we have success?
I think
Because I don't see it.
It's like Doug. It's like Doug McLean. If we tell people it's going great, no one ever really looks into it. So
Okay.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we're humming along.
I think it's okay. They put us on TV. They let me wear this stupid hat.
They take us off TV next week.
So we have a few minutes before our next
Yeah,
guest comes
we
in.
do.
What were you said you wanted to talk about something. What
I
was it?
do.
What
I
is
do.
it?
Because this is not only our last show before the Christmas break, but it's
Yep.
our last show in
Of the year.
2023.
Yeah.
So if we were to pick a couple of stories here that stand out for you guys in 2023, the NHL, what jumps
I'll
out
let
at you?
Sam, we had a brief talk prior, and I'll let Sammy say the one that I think has moved the needle most.
I mean, Toronto is the center of the hockey universe, as everybody who's listening across the country loves to hear.
Oh boy,
Kyle Dubas to me is the number one story.
it's a big story.
The
He was
way-
here for 8 years.
The way it played out at the end was one of the most, electrifying weeks of radio I've been a
We
part
did
of.
that Dubas presser live.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you were away on the Friday for the Shanny one, where Gord
Yeah.
Stellick watched him put on a clinic of radio prowess. But it
Yeah.
was a wild week. We didn't know what was going to happen. He gets let go. Like, it was insane.
I wrote about it today
Yeah.
for the Toronto Star, my weekly column. You can find it on at Real Kyper on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it was incredible radio and TV for us.
Mhm.
I mean, you just
God.
watching it play out like that. It was one of the most bizarre exits in a managerial position that we've ever seen.
Also, the most subjective, right? Like, there's anyone you talk
Yes.
to has a different view, a different angle. Depends how you felt about him before,
Mm-hmm.
and how you feel about the state of the team. So it really lent itself to so much conversation. And even now, you wrote a whole article about it today. There were parts I disagreed with in your article. There's parts I agreed with. Like, it's still not really clear.
And that's why he should have been like, hey, guys, no, it got a little messy at the end.
Yeah, but I love my
I
time.
love my time here.
Where is the disagree part?
Oh, yeah, let's go.
Do you want to know where it was?
It's
Yes,
Christmas.
please.
It's Christmas.
There's like a hard
Guys, it's
conclusion. and
Christmas,
You know
come
what? Fair and stuff.
Stop
I don't necessarily agree with the idea that he trotted his family out as sort of a negotiating pawn.
Okay.
I do believe.
All right, that's fair.
I do believe that there is genuine indecision that was happening, which, maybe I'm naive, maybe you're cynical. I don't know. Could be a little bit of both.
All I know is this time tomorrow I'm off.
I'm not going to get into this with you. Yeah, we're not doing this today.
No, it's fine. That's why you write.
Yes.
And that's why you have a
You fleshed
comment
out your point.
section. Hey, you agree, you disagree, let me know.
But this is what I mean. It's still like, I don't know. We don't have answers. And that's why it's a big story.
What's your biggest story?
My biggest story,
Yeah.
I think that would probably be it too.
Where would Corey Perry,
Perry's a good
Chicago's a
one.
big story?
Yeah, I think just them in general, with them getting Bedard, followed by the start for Bedard, and then the Corey Perry thing, and the subsequent stuff that came out around that. Like, that was horrible. but it was a huge story for a week. And it just feels like it's gone away now. You were writing about it a little bit. I'm sure people are checking in on him, but yeah, that was a big one. I'm trying to think of other ones, but those two stand out to me.
In my news and notes today, I talked about teams having internal discussions on if and when he gets cleared, like how many teams would be willing to take him for $750 prorated?
I would say most would probably be checking in, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I guess like would details have to be made public of what happened? And
I don't know. I had one NHL executive tell me if Edmonton can make Evander Kane work, how many teams could make Corey Perry work again?
Oh, actually, somebody just texted me. Babcock.
That's a
this
big
year
story
too.
too.
Great call. That's a really
Thanks, Jeff
great
and Barry.
call.
Because
Yeah.
it's like I'm feeling like an idiot for not thinking of that one, but that was a massive story.
Yeah, that's right up there with the surprise
some
that
of the
Corey
other
Perry's
ones-
not a member of Chicago.
No doubt. The Babs one is just also because it's a lot of conjecture and hearsay and what really happened. And
He said,
a
she said,
huge
yeah.
celebrity.
Oh, yeah.
There's pain coming.
There was pain that
But
arrived.
if there's enough time between Corey Perry's last game and this stint with the NHL Players Association program and feeling like he may have cleared a few things up, second chance.
I don't know.
I'm off tomorrow. I don't want to get in trouble.
There's
today.
5 minutes left in our show.
I don't. Yes, it's very possible.
But we're not privileged to any details.
We don't know
so,
anything.
like, how do you?
That's
how do you
exactly
get
it.
to?
No, that's why
how do you
we're talking
decide?
about it's hard because it's like I don't know exactly what he did. I don't know.
But let's
where
assume
he's
we
gonna be.
never will know.
Okay. Well, then how can I say he can't play?
Thank you.
You know, and your point about Kane, like it's people make mistakes and they get another chance. I don't think you should be allowed one strike. So I don't know. I don't know what he did.
Do you think the Arizona City vote failing was a big story? Someone texted me in that thought.
No.
Because I don't care
What about
about
Kane on a different team?
Yeah, Leafs trade deadline. You guys had a great and active show. That was a wild day.
We did have a massive deadline show.
Well, it was not even. I don't think it
It's
was
like-
the actual day.
No,
it was the day
a
before.
couple days before something was O'Reilly happened.
Sandine
Engvall,
happened.
Sandine,
Like they had a whole new team by the
whoever it
show,
was.
or it's
Yeah.
done. Shen.
Another story for me that I don't know if it would make a top 10 list, but the traditional NHL draft getting blown up.
Oh.
That's a story.
Non-story.
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 No, I think it's a story.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that it's the Sphere. That's a story to me.
Oilers' horrible start, someone said.
The Tank Fest. Them losing 8 in a row. Hold on, though, to the draft thing. I think it's a big deal, the teams and executives and media in terms of what they're gonna do.
Our
But
last guest is arrived.
Ailish, we get an Ailish guest in here. What's happening?
Hey, Lish.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Hi, everyone.
There we go.
Hey.
Yes.
How are you?
Thanks for joining
Happy
us.
holidays, everyone.
Thank you.
Ho, ho, ho. I'm here.
Have I not the worst hat in the world?
Is
Yeah.
that not the scuzziest thing you've
It's
ever
pretty
seen?
bad. I said that thing was found on the ground somewhere in Kypreos. We don't want to know where.
Pulled it out of his dog's mouth on the way here.
I don't know what you guys are up to. I wasn't listening to the show. I was prepping for mine.
We were talking
That's
about
smart.
we were talking about the biggest stories in hockey were this year,
Yeah.
and my vote was Kyle Dubas and the way that played out.
We've also mentioned Corey Perry.
Yeah.
We did mention, but probably on the list, the sale of the Ottawa Senators, and then found
Babcock.
Mike Babcock
Yep.
coming and going very quickly in Columbus.
A lot of large stories. We've also been checking in with all of our guests and their Christmas experience. Is it a big deal in the 4FR house? Yeah.
I'd say so. I feel like it was like the only time where I have an older brother. We'd all come back from like university or wherever we were playing hockey, and we'd have a couple days together to play. We'd go out and play on the pond, but we just like have a nice family moment. So I do think it's a big one, but it's always short, like a short and sweet. Get back to it, whether you're working or playing. So it's a fun one. Yeah.
So, how has your year gone professionally here with the show? Because we've
tell
made
me.
Are you
we've all
firing
made
me?
no, we've all
my
made
year-end.
an adjustment here. They took us from upstairs. They brought us down here. You and Justin doing a terrific job, and I do miss you on the morning.
Oh, thanks, guys.
I do because we
Yeah,
had
we had good morning.
we had
We
real
know
good
what-
chemistry.
Yeah, the morning
Good
was great.
vibes.
Yeah, we miss having you on. I think it's been really great. Honestly, the amount of sleep we're getting is already so much better. So are the morning guys
Feeling
that
sane.
you know what's up. But no, I think it's been really fun. It's been a challenge to come in and do like a quick, concise 1 hour show where, you know, you got to be on the ball right away, less time for fluff, but it makes you a better broadcaster, I think.
Kipper's dream in 1 hour show.
Yeah, well, actually, because of you guys being off, we have a 3 hour show tomorrow. Okay, so thank you. That's your Christmas gift to me is a 3 hour show.
That's awesome.
Yeah, tomorrow we're doing a 3 hour extravaganza. So we might have to call on you, but you'll be somewhere
Did,
else.
Kipper, you never did a morning show. Like, you never had to get up at that time.
No.
Oh, my God.
No.
It's hell.
But, you know,
Wouldn't have done it.
7 o'clock hits,
Yeah.
7:05,
you
7.
You get to put on your pajamas and go back to
He
bed.
would call us
that's true.
sometimes on the morning show, and he'd be like, either we know it was like Kipper was already up, or he was waking up. Like,
Yes.
like you could tell.
Yeah, you were my alarm clock.
Yeah.
It was fun though.
Yeah, it does happen to those hours. So, former pro hockey player yourself, we want to ask about the Professional Women's Hockey League is starting
Yeah.
up here just in about a week now.
Honestly, so game one will be January 1st.
Yeah.
So I'll be there, bright-eyed and bushy-eyed, or is that it?
Bushy-tailed.
Bushy-tailed.
There you
yeah,
go.
I'll be all of those things.
Bushy-eyed is not good.
I don't want to be
No,
bushy-eyed.
it's very tired.
But yeah, Toronto will be starting the season with New York. It'll be amazing. It's at Mattamy, and I played there for a little bit. And it's a beautiful.
I am
rink.
jealous a little bit.
It's an amazing rink.
It's still
Yeah.
Maple Leaf Garden.
It is, yeah. It's Maple Leafs Garden, so it's going to be great for them to play. I sold out. I got a season ticket. I bought season tickets. 'Cause
Nice.
Even though I'm a media member, I'm like, I want to support.
Yeah.
Sold out season tickets. Sold out every seat of the game so far. So it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited.
You weren't greasing them for a media pass? You're like, come on.
I didn't even get. I don't even know. I might have a media pass. Whatever. I wanted to support because this is the start of something really new and special. And all of my former teammates and some of my best friends are still playing. So I'm excited. But I'm taking like.
So can
Which-
you not do both? Can you go back and play then?
For now.
You got to come back in, yeah?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think so. I play on a nice like women's beer league team
Nice.
twice a week, and sometimes I'm like, thank God I stopped playing. I'm
I,
gassed.
I played with Ailish at I don't know what
Yeah,
it was.
we're in a tournament together.
And I was,
She embarrassed you, I
oh
heard.
my God. Well,
Yeah, I did.
the second I put on skates, I embarrassed myself. So I don't really need
No,
to worry
you were
about that.
good. You
yeah,
did-
I tried hard because Ailish was there. I was like,
Yeah, Sammy did a lot of the big loops. Big
Not a lot of
loopy
no
loops.
stops and
Lots
starts.
of loops. Yeah.
No, I'm looking like
Pretty
Evan
fun.
Bouchard in the defensive zone. A lot of loops.
Yeah. No stops.
You
and starts.
wish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
fair
I
enough.
just meant circling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Circling. All right.
We
I love
should
it.
end by
rock.
saying our thank yous to everyone today. Hey,
Oh, yeah.
we had the full list. Sam, thanks
Yes.
for putting that
Oh, yeah,
together.
no problem.
Yeah, listen, back in the days of Hockey Central at noon, we did this a couple times. Darren Millard and Doug McLean and I would call up 10 people over the
And that was
the show.
one of my
and,
favorite shows of the year, and that's why I did it.
and that's why you
Yeah,
did it. And you
100%.
nailed it.
Thank you.
You nailed it.
Gordon,
Thank you.
PJ,
Job.
and Yorkie, and Futes, and Dougie Mack. We got Ailish, Amber.
And
I'm
Amber,
missing someone else,
Amber
too.
was on Bukala.
Bukala, of course,
And-
Books.
And Amber was like looked like he was on the TNT set. Like he was from our other city, looked unbelievable. Our set was amazing.
We saw you guys do that, and now we want to do it. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, you opened up that world.
That's actually true. That's
like, we need that.
We can do that.
That's better. Yeah, it's almost better than having him in studio. So,
Yeah.
anyways, loved it.
Well, listen, again, thanks to our guest, Ailish, for dropping by.
Thanks,
Have a
Ailish.
great
Appreciate it.
show
I'll be right
coming
here.
up. Don't go away.
She's not leaving.
Ailish and Justin are coming up next. And for all of you in 2023, safe holidays.
Yeah. Brandeo, Jen.
We sure
listeners.
appreciate your support for the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. If you get a chance, give us a rating and review. We'd love to hear from you. We'd want to hear you talk about ways Sammy and Justin can improve. All of
No
it.
shortage.
Thanks again.
Thank
Stay
you, Kim.
safe, everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy New Year.